Hello, everybody. Today, what we're going to be working on is measuring. Now, we worked on measuring last time with the inch, and we showed you how to take a measurement off an object, for the length of the object, like we would if we were going to measure the size of something to record that size or determine how long that object actually is. Today, we're going to reverse that. Today, we're going to start with a number and we're going to come up with a measurement on the ruler. If we're going to actually build an object, this is how we'd usually be measuring to communicate how long something is so we can accurately cut the object to length. So let's get started. Step one, identify the inch if there is one. And what I mean by if there is one is sometimes we just have a fraction and we'd be starting before the inch at the beginning of the ruler. Other times we have an inch. If you look at our measurement, it's 1 3/4. 1 is the inch. You can see the arrow pointing to the inch mark on the ruler, letting us know that that's our starting point for the measurement. That's where the measurement will begin, and then the fraction will come after that to make the measurement more accurate. After we identify our starting point, the inch, then we're going to have to look at our fraction. Now, last time we started with a 16 on the bottom, and we counted the small lines on the ruler to find out how far that mark we were measuring to was over from the inch. And then we reduced that measurement if we had an even number on top. Well, before we can count any lines, we have to get that number, that fraction, I should say, back into sixteenths. So if we look at our fraction 3/4, we don't have 16 on the bottom. We need to get 16 on the bottom. And remember, when we reduced the top and bottom by the same thing. This time, we're going to multiply the top and bottom by the same thing. So we look at the bottom number, in this case it's 4, and we ask ourselves, is 2 times 4 16? Nope. Is 4 times 4 16? Yep. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom by 4. When we do this, we come up with the fraction 12 sixteenths. 12 sixteenths is the same as 3/4, just broken down into smaller parts. So now we know that the next step is to find the actual measurement on the ruler. If we remember from the first step, we are going to be starting at the inch mark. We're going to start to count the first small mark after the inch line we're measuring from. If we do that, we count 12 lines over. We can't just count 3. That measurement wouldn't be right. So we're going to count the one with sixteenths. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we get to the mark we're measuring to. You can see the arrow pointing 1 3/4, which is the same as 1 12 sixteenths. It's a little bit quicker and a little bit easier than the steps we did last time. Let's try another one. This time, the measurement is already in sixteenths. Do we have to multiply it by anything? No. If the number is already in sixteenths, all we have to do is count the lines on the top of the fraction, starting after the inch. So here we have our ruler. What we're going to do is we're going to find our inch first, which is 2. Then, because we're already in sixteenths, all we have to do is count the lines till we reach the mark we're measuring to. 1, 2, 3. Once that's done, we have our measurement. 2 3/16 is the correct answer for this. So when we have 16 on the bottom, it makes it much, much easier. Now you give one a try. If you need to pause the video, go ahead, figure out where 3 5/8 on the ruler is going to be, and then continue to play the video to see if you were right. Okay, so now when we look at 3 5/8, the first thing we have to do is identify our inch, which is 3. But before we go any further, let's look at that fraction, 5/8. Do we have 16 on the bottom? No. So how do we get 16 on the bottom? We're going to multiply the top and bottom of the fraction by 2. When we do, 5 times 2 is 10, 8 times 2 is 16, leaving us with 10/16. Now, we'll find the inch, 3. Then we count the small lines after the inch till we get to the mark we're measuring to. This leaves us with 3 and 10/16, which is the same as 3 and 5/8. Let's go with one more, 4 and 7/16. Once again, pause the video if you need to, find the measurement, figure out where it is, and then play the video again to see if you were right. Okay, so 4 and 7/16. We know the inch is 4. We look at the bottom, we see there's a 16 there. Do we have to multiply this by anything? No. All we have to do after the 4 is start counting with the first small mark. We're going to count the next 7 lines. And when we do, we find our measurement, 4 and 7/16. This is the mark we would choose as the correct answer. You do have a worksheet to complete with this, and that should be located with the video in Google Classroom. Make sure you turn that in through Google Classroom when it is complete. Have a great day. See you next time.